Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Here. Hello. Oh, I can't even take myself seriously in these glasses. Happy St. Patrick's Day, anyone who celebrates St. Patrick's Day. So much fun. You guys, I am so excited to talk to you about play. It's been very interesting as I have shared in the group, what I'm talking about today. I haven't gained very much traction and it blows my mind because at some core level, we know how important play is, don't we? And yet we don't really want to give it the time of day. It's like, we want it to just be easy, which it is, but we don't want to have to think about it. We just want to have it. But guess what? We don't. We don't have it, do we? We don't have that lightheartedness that we want. So, in today's live, in today's training, I'm going to give you guys, by the end of this training, you will have 5 specific ways to really up-level your play, which will up-level your feminine energy in both your business and marriage. And then we're really going to unpack why you aren't doing them now and how to step into that. You guys, this is so expansive. I feel so good talking about this. This play is one of my core values, which is fascinating. So people who know me would reflect this to me all the time. I want to just be really vulnerable with you guys. Yeah, play, like you're so playful, Melissa. Of course, play is one of your core values. My coaching friends, right? My different circles I'm in, like play is so important to you, obviously. And I was like, what? No, it's not. Because my whole life I had been told things like, stop being such a spaz, like you're too much, you need to calm down, you're too loud, on and on, right? These things that I was told as a kid, and it was hard. It really it's been hard to overcome that. And so when I first saw play, thinking about what makes me me, I rejected it because of this experience. Like, no, play is not important. How many people relate with that? Play's not really important, right? Who's watching today? I would love to see who's on here, where you're watching from. Looks like, hi, Violet. Hi, Andrea. So there's my little vulnerable share. Now, for the last probably 3 years, I've really embraced the value of play, and it's changed my world. So funny because we're miserable. Like most of humanity is pretty unhappy, and we just go through our drudgery of our lives, and we want to be more happy. And play is such an obvious solution to that, and we push it away, right? Isn't that interesting why we do that? Okay, so I want to give you guys 5 super fun, easy ways to bring play into both business and marriage. I mean, you saw I just began today with this ridiculousness. If I didn't have 4 kids, I wouldn't have this paraphernalia, but I do. So funny. I can't even wear these without laughing. Like, I think my kids would die right now if they knew I was doing a live with this stuff on. But it's so much fun, right? So way number 1 is teasing and joking and laughter. Just anything that makes people laugh. And we don't do these things enough, do we? Like, it's hilarious. You can bring this into your family. Of course you can. And you can bring it into your workplace like I'm doing right now. This is me in my workplace showing up like a total goof wearing ridiculous stuff. And I hope you're laughing. I hope you're like, she is crazy. And laughing with me. Because why? Because laughter. Because play. So easy. Way number 2, singing and dancing, even if you're terrible. You ever watch kids? Kids have no inhibition when it comes to singing and dancing. They don't think about, am I on key or not, or do I look right or whatever. They don't start to adopt those things until they're older. They just have so much play inside of them that they just naturally sing and dance. It's one of my favorite things is when I have 4 kids and when they reach that, like, you know, maybe around 2 years old, 18 months, 2 years old, and the next thing you know, there's a song on and they just automatically start kind of shaking their butt and just dancing. And dance does it. We have so many boxes around this stuff, right? Oh gosh, it can just be movement. It doesn't even have to be anything, right? So singing and dancing is way number 2. Acting on the impulse. So, you know, whatever that looks like from moment to moment as you're going throughout your day and you have a funny thought and you say it, or you have a funny idea and you do it, being able to act on the impulse. That's number 3. Number 4, touch, wrestling, etc. I'm a big like poker. My kids, they just laugh. It's like I'm tickling them, and I just poke them. I poke my husband all the time. It's like my teasing thing that I do. We went to yoga last week together. He doesn't come to yoga with me that often, but he came to yoga with me, which was really special. And we're like side by side in our little yoga class, and you know, he'd be like breathing really hard, and it was a hot yoga class, so we're both like kind of dying the whole time, and I like reach over and poke him, and you know, and he's got like one arm up and one leg up, and it's just like ah! So touch and wrestling and tickling and that kind of stuff, of course, all safe. Great ways to bring in play. That's our way number 4. Number 5 is pursuing those things that bring you pleasure. Gosh, it's not rocket science, is it? But we don't do this stuff, do we? So pursuing what brings us pleasure. What really brings you pleasure? I love the sun on my face. If it's sunny and it's warm enough for me to be outside, I love to just, even if it's 5 minutes, to just go outside, put the sun on my face. Doing things with my kids, playing games with my kids, eating foods that bring me pleasure. Boy, that's a big one, isn't it? Like we've got all this cognitive dissonance around good foods and bad foods and blah, blah, blah. But foods that bring us pleasure can bring some play into our lives. Anything that brings us pleasure, certainly sex, certainly, you know, whatever it is that brings you pleasure, bringing that more into your life. So those are our 5 ways: teasing, joking, and laughter, singing and dancing, acting on the impulse, touch, wrestling, tickling, etc., and pursuing what brings you pleasure. All of these things, being in this is being in your feminine. Feminine is playful energy. Masculine is very serious energy, has to get things done, right? Feminine is present. Being in that place snaps us into the present moment. It forces us, especially if we really get out of our comfort zone, like dancing in public or something that makes you uncomfortable. You are present. Like you're not in your anxiety in those moments. You're not worrying about anything because you can't, because you're sweating and you're just thinking, oh my gosh, I'm doing this scary thing. Play is so good at zapping us into the present moment. So let's break this apart. We all know these things, right? Why don't we do them? Why don't we bring these into our business and our workplaces and into our marriages more often? Why don't we, and into our lives? Why don't we play more? There's a lot of different reasons, surface reasons, right? Like, well, being raised, the value was always on achievement and progress and all that. And those are all masculine, right? Those are some surface level reasons. Another surface reason I hear, I don't have the time. I have too many things to do. And I totally get that. And at the same time, it doesn't take forever for me to wear a ridiculous thing. It doesn't take forever. And I can bring play and laughter into any part of my day. So these are surface reasons. I want to share with you the real reason, what's holding you back. And before I do that, I want to tell you what it's costing you not to bring play into your world, into your life. It's all your power. It's all your power. I was talking with a client just today. She was talking about how serious her sex life is with her husband. It's there's not a whole lot of room for possibilities or really exploring a lot. He's got a lot of feelings, she's got a lot of feelings, and so their sex life has become very serious. And the more that she talked about this, she came to her own conclusion, which I just was like, I love this serendipity because I was doing a training on play today. She goes, you know what we need? We just need to get back some play. Because if we can be in that play energy, we can experiment with some of these other things without it feeling so heavy. If it doesn't feel like life or death, or like, we're going to make or break our relationship based on the way this one sex experience goes. But if we just bring in some play, like bingo, that's where your power is, right? That's where really deep intimacy is created. Same in business. If we're not bringing play into our business, why aren't we? It's likely because we're in survival. We're too worried about the next sale. Are we going to be able to make the bills? Have we hit that next goal, that next achievement level? Are we doing everything that we need to do? If we hit off all the, checked off all the check marks, we get too dang serious. And guess what happens? We lose our passion, we lose our fire. Then we don't make as many sales and we don't help as many people. Big cost here. Play is our power. It really is. I would love to hear in the comments if you agree with me. Is play your power? Oh, look at this. Here's a couple of comments. Yay, yes. So you guys, what is this one deep, real reason that's keeping us from bringing play in more often? The very thing that will ensure the butterflies and magic and power in your life. It's your feminine intuition. Your feminine intuition. It's that voice inside of you that you've had from birth that knows how to play. It knows how to play, but we push aside our feminine intuition. It's that little nudge. Okay, my feminine intuition is a little bit more outgoing than maybe most. Mine, I remember the first day I reclaimed it. I was standing in line, waiting to get on my first cruise ship. So I was very excited. Energy was very high, and I was in a really open-hearted space. And feminine intuition came in and said, everybody's kind of cranky actually, because you're in this giant line. Waiting. So it feels like, oh my gosh, we have to get through like 300 people before we get on this ship. So everybody's kind of cranky. And I totally had this vision of me hopping on this table I was standing next to and having an Elf moment. You know, the movie Elf, when he is in the mailroom and he's like dancing on the table and everyone's like, hey, hey. That's what my feminine intuition tells me to do. I can promise you I did not do that. I wish I would have. One day I will redeem that. But it is, right? It's that little voice inside of us that says, and we really, right, when our heart is very open is when we can hear it most. If we get quiet enough and really listen to our own intuition, it's going to tell us the ways to play. It's that little voice that says, oh, I just want to dance. I love this song. And then we're like, no, you don't have time to dance. Or like, you can't dance. There's like people around right now. It's the one that says you're in the middle of sex with your husband. You're starting to actually feel very free in the experience. And it says, you should try this. Whatever this is, right? Something crazy, something you haven't done before. And you're like, no, I can't do that. And we shove it aside. We shove aside our feminine intuition. And then we come out of it like, oh, I wish I would have done that. Or we say, man, the spark in our marriage has kind of died, right? But actually, it could be right there. It could be right there because your feminine intuition is telling you all these things. It's in your business when you're in with a client and you keep getting this intuitive hit that's telling you, you got to shake things up with her. You got to do something out of the box. And you know exactly what that thing is, but you get a little too nervous, so you decide not to do it. And then you end the call feeling kind of shut down, like I didn't really serve her in my fullest capacity. This is the power of our play. And this is the gap. The gap is your feminine intuition. I've made some people really angry in this group. It's very interesting to me because when I talk about feminine energy, I'm not excluding people. I'm not talking about gender. I'm literally talking about these two forces at play that are beyond our control. They are beyond our ability to put them in boxes. They just exist. They just exist. And so if we choose to find our way to navigate and exist in them and dance through them, we have greater flow and ease in our lives and we're more fully in our power. And that's just a fact. It's just a fact. And I want you to have that experience. I want you to feel empowered by your play and empowered by your feminine intuition. And what I know and what I've seen over and over is that women who think, oh yeah, good idea, I'm just going to go do one of those little things. Do you think that's really going to give you the results that you want? I have doubts about that because what I see is that we need support. We don't live in a day and age where it's easy for us to just embody our feminine, really create the intimacy of our dreams. You need support, and that's why I do what I do. I want to see you soar. I want to see you up-level your feminine. I want to see you play and be so wild and free, letting go of all inhibition, being you. So if this resonates with you, I have a beautiful assessment that will help you to identify exactly where you are in relation to your feminine. And I'd love to talk with you about it and get on a call with you if you feel like that's a good fit. I'll post that assessment link in the comments. And I can't wait to hear from you. Thanks, guys.